I'm going in. That was smart.
Hello? Howdy. Just working hard like I always do.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
Is this like Starbucks where I have to throw my cup away, or can I go in and reuse the same cup?
The trick is if you like get like a I don't know if it works for the same cup. I mean, maybe it's a refill. It counts as a refill. But if you like go to the thrift store and buy like a cheap coffee cup and bring in, it's only 69 cents for a refill every morning. So you could go get like a bigger coffee cup. It's only going to cost you 69 cents to fill it in the morning instead of one of the paper cups. It's like $1.40 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that's the trick.
I do have a few of them in there. I just have to dig them out. That's the problem with living in my car.
I know what you mean. I'm pretty much almost the same. I've lived out of my truck before, and I just bought a tiny old fucking trailer I'm gonna be living in now.
Man, I wish there was more lesbians to hang out with here.
Yeah, good ones. I know what you mean.
That's one of the things I missed about Colorado. I had a lot of female friends that I could be female friends with without having any sexual attention there.
Right? See, I got a problem. Lesbians got a thing for me. I've had lots of lesbian friends, but they all end up coming on to me.
I've only
They
had
like
a
my
couple
feminine
of them,
features.
but it wasn't because of my feminine features. It was because I was nice to them, or because they got into a really bad
Exactly.
relationship with a
Nice
woman.
person.
So, oh, Sean's nice. I'm gonna rebound from being a lesbian by pretending I'm strictly dickly for a week. No, that doesn't work. You are what you are. I am what I am, and this just isn't gonna work out. And I don't know why I get such hostility when I say, "Can we just be friends?" Although I'm not that
Because they're
good looking a feller, and there aren't very many people that look at me and go, "You know, that guy's dating material," which I'm fine with.
It's all right. I just attract crazy ones myself, so it happens.
Well, we taught both men and women to be expectational. And the better looking they are, the more they expect. The more money they got, the more they expect. And what do people with money spend their money on? Things that are pretty.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, he's not rich, but he always wanted to be. And his piece of advice to me was, Sean, you get yourself a pretty wife so you got someone to show off. You get yourself a fat girlfriend so you can still have fun.
That's funny.
Ever since, I haven't really been attracted to attractive women. I'm like, well, if fat ones are the fun ones, I'll hang out with the fat ones. But then a lot of the fat women I know have absolutely no self-esteem. And that gets really sad too.
Right?
Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get coffee, and I'm going to complain
Yeah, tell
about...
her let's ask for a refill. Tell her you're using the same cup. She should only charge you for a refill.
Oh, she only charges me a refill anyway. She's
Oh,
mean
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, sir.
so I've been looking at a lot of sites trying to find, you know, the good ones for men's rights advocacy. And it's kind of disgusting because every single one of them is trying to tell us how to date. Dating isn't a right. That requires somebody else to go along with it. Like, those aren't actual rights.
No, that's interesting.
It is. Like, that doesn't help out anybody.
I'm not getting tricky for you.
All right. Well, I'm not going to fight you about it.
I know you're not.
All right, so you've probably seen these pop up on your YouTube. You know, the men's rights advocacy places and stuff. And they talk about, you know, simps and crap like that. The thing that I always notice about that is that in an hour-long video, they'll spend 45 minutes trying to tell dudes how to date. Like, dating isn't a right. You have to have another person decide that that's okay in order to go on a date, you know?
Yeah, it's got to work with that other person.
You know?
She better be watching that same video.
You know? That's very much so. If you're not on the same page, it's not going to work out. But yeah, I've been looking through it. I'm like, all right, there's got to be a men's rights advocate who isn't either a pick-me girl or some guy who's completely jaded or some Chad who's trying to tell a bunch of fat guys how to get laid. Yeah, 45 minutes. Well, just very craziness. I'm gonna go sit in my car and make fun of myself for a few minutes. I might make time to make fun of you on my YouTube channel, but really, I mean, there's not much about your character that I can break down yet. I gotta get to know you better before I really, really break it down and make you cry.
Good.
Right? That's
Like
the
everybody
best
else
thing to
does. Trust me, I've been easy done.
Men are a lot. A woman told me this, which I found incredibly mostly true. She said, you know, men and women treat each other differently. With a woman, you'll talk nice to her. A woman will talk nice to a woman even if she doesn't like her most of the time. But for a guy, if you do like somebody, you talk to them disrespectfully. I'm like, yeah, we have a mutual disrespect for one another. That's why we respect each other.
That's right. All my good friends, we flip each other off when we see each other.
Yo. Fuck you, how's the wife and my kid?
I like that.
Yo. Alright, well, I don't get to walk and I'll end up freezing in place.
I know, I can't wait for that sun to get over here.
Well, as long as that shadow is, it should only be about 4.5 hours.
About the time I get out of here is when it starts warming up and getting sunny out here.
Well, in this area, I mean, here, I'd venture to say probably 4 o'clock in the afternoon is about when it starts hitting the bricks here.
Yeah, way later, yeah.
Yeah. Hey. Ooh. All right, so when I hung out in Colorado, I hung primarily with lesbians. Not because there was a bunch of lesbians there, although there's a lot of lesbians in Boulder, Colorado. It was primarily because they were safe. See, unlike Brianna Hernandez Cordona, who is strictly dickly, a lesbian isn't going to get it all fucked up in her head as easily. Did I know that Maddie Boa was lesbian before we became friends? Yes, I did. Her and Natalie Bollinger were the only friends I had for about 6 months there. After that, I had none. When your friends have so much disrespect for you that they talk over you, they know so little about your situation and care only about themselves so much that they're gonna change up frequently and start talking about them. That's not help. How many women on my channel have been recorded making it all about them, all about them? Oh, they care, but it's all about them. They'll spend 4 hours talking about them when really you just need them to fucking make a call with you that'll take 30 minutes. Then again, all the stuff that they're telling me are the things that they need to tell these people on the phone. That's the shit you need to fucking tell these people. Oh, Sean, it's horrible that all these people have done this to you. Well, fucking speak up about it. Tell these people that this shit is actually happening. That it's not a figment of my imagination. See, I'm not mansplaining shit here. I'm saying it how it is. No reading between the lines. If I'm being an asshole, I'll tell you I'm being an asshole. But if I'm being an asshole, I don't need to tell you. You'll be able to figure it out on your own. I make it pretty obvious. When it's time for you to leave, I'll tell you it's time for you to leave. If you don't take the fucking hint, keep in mind, it's not a subtle fucking hint. I told you outright. Outright. Which means, by definition, it's not a fucking hint. When I let Natalie and her family know what I was being abused over, you'd think that they would be human enough to knock that shit off, but no. Rose M. Kelly wants to pretend that I am every fucking piece of shit she's ever fucking dated. No, Rose M. Kelly chose to date pieces of shit. Rose M. Kelly, well, she was a filthy fucking street urchin. Same thing as Ted's other 2 wives. Filthy street urchins. They were already addicts when they met Ted. Classic users. Of course they used Ted. He had drugs and he had money. He also had control issues and liked to beat on people. Why did they stick with him, even after the beatings? Drugs and money. The thing is that my predators, all they had to do was pretend that I would hurt them, and that was good enough. The police did the rest. They did everything that they could to make sure that I couldn't take my predators to court, that I wasn't even allowed to go to court, that they made sure to omit the fact that I was fucking locked up and couldn't go to court. Meanwhile, the judges did know that. The judges knew exactly what they were doing too. That's because it is a racket. When you are homeless in America, you are everyone's favorite victim. Fuck this goddamn country. And everyone in it. Now, I've chosen not to kill my predators, despite the fact that I have had every chance and every opportunity. There is no point in time through any of this that I have not had the opportunity to kill someone. Not even when I was naked and alone in a cell. Even then, I could have committed suicide. You guys don't want to hear that shit, do you? You fucking cowardly bastards. Now, should I be out there killing the people who threatened my sister and my niece, like many of y'all claim I should be. No, that's not what I should be doing. My little sister had her choice. She chose cowardice. If anything happens to her over that cowardice and over her choices, she wants to get fucked up on drugs and do fucked up shit with a schizophrenic dude named Ed, that's on her. The thing is that her stupidity and her decision to rip her own brother off has had long-lasting consequences for both of us. Of course, my little sister got free housing in Chapel, Nebraska for doing what she did. A lot of people got rewarded for stabbing me in the back, like Christine Buhit. They gave her housing to destroy evidence. Well, it's not destroyed. That email can still be hacked into. I've got a lot of the information that I need. The problem is that it was illegal for Christine to take it back the way that she did. That was intended for evidence, and it was full of evidence of abuse against at-risk adults, not just myself. There's a lot of these women through this that gave me sob stories back in the day, and afterwards, when I spoke up, they wanted to treat me like I was a bad person. Like, hey, lady, here's the thing. Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with my head. Don't play fucking head games. And if that guy didn't do what you claim that he did, you shouldn't have said that he did. You want to be forgiven after doing something like that? Well, you ask him for forgiveness. There's a lot of women who wanted to say that I was a horrible person because I spoke up about the abuse they were enduring. Well, if you're not enduring that abuse and you don't want to change it, or you don't want to change it, that's on you. That's not on me. If you're going to take our time that you are going to help me to make it all about you, but you don't want to do anything about it, then just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. If you don't need my help, stop talking about you. Because I do need help. When it comes to respecting somebody, do you listen to what they have to say, or do you talk over them and tell them how to think and how to feel? The way that people like Joanna Taylor Smith does. I pay attention to my surroundings. I pay attention to what's going on around me. When you're getting beat up, you wish that somebody would do something about it, especially if you're getting beaten up 6-on-1. Or if you get gang raped 6-on-1. You wish that somebody would care, but when all they're going to do is tell you to let it go, those aren't friends. Those aren't good people. Those are users and abusers. They don't see you as a human being. They see you as a mark. They see you as somebody they can go to when they want something. There's a lot of women who kept me on their I want something list. I'm not on their dating list. I'm not even on their friends list. Sure, on Facebook I'm on their friends list, but we're not real friends. We don't do things that friends do. If they genuinely cared about me, well, let's use Jamie Curtis as an example. Did she ever call me because she missed me? No. No, she didn't. Caroline Coffey did once. Or maybe she got the wrong number and just played it off. Who knows? I know there's a lot of you that every time somebody tells me something, you want to reinterpret it to the, well, she meant this and she meant that. Mostly trolls just trying to be douches. But you don't stop to think about the damage that that does to a human being. And when it's a guy, you just tell him, oh, you just need to man up. A woman has it so much worse than you do. No, they don't. No, they don't. It's okay to be sexist towards men. Our society allows it and even encourages it. Straight people don't want me to be a part of their group because they just want someone to hate. like these white racists and these black racists. Oh, you can't be victimized because you're white. You can't be victimized because you're white. But these racists don't see white, they see Jew. They don't look at me and see blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aryan Brotherhood motherfucker. They see Jew, that's all they see. Doesn't matter that I was raised Christian. Where the hell are my... Fuck it, I don't need my scissors for this. Then we got all these chads on these men's rights advocacy groups, right? We got the muscle-bound idiots who want to tell all the little guys how to get laid. Like, dude, it's not about dating or getting laid at this point. It's about men tired of being walked on. And although you do talk about men not getting walked on, well, you're fucking idiots about it. And you make it about dating. That's because you are fucking selling your channel to simps. On those men's rights channels, they get on there and they spend a lot of time showing about women complaining about the dating game. About how women only swipe. Fucking swiping thing. I don't have any dating sites, so I just hear. I don't watch people doing the dating thing, so yeah, apparently if you swipe right, then that means you might be interested. Women swipe right only 5% of the time. Only the best looking. Only the best looking. Or the richest. If it's about finding love, then why's she asking how much you make a year? Oh, she's looking for love, all right. For the love of money. That guy in New Zealand, 45 minutes out of every hour, he talks about how to get women. That guy in Australia, same thing. Now, the autism advocate from Australia, what does he do? He presents the actual issues that we as autistic people have. There was a guy, TAW, the autism world, or the Aspie world, because he's got Asperger's, like me. Now it's called high-functioning autism. The Aspie world started off educating people, but then he started doing the selling merch. It's about making money, and when you're about making money, you have to tell people what they want to hear, which means that he spends a lot more time making excuses for the behaviors of neurotypicals. Not okay. So TAW, if you have Asperger's, TAW is not the site for you. It might be. He might be selling the exact jargon that you want to hear. But there's going to be a lot of points in that where you're listening to him and you're going, man, this guy's better off selling fucking OxyClean. Used car salesman material. Once he started making actual money with it, that's what it became. Kind of like Chloe Roma, another one of our men's rights advocates. She gets a bunch of simps that love watching her, and then she gets them to buy into her, what do you call this? OnlyFans, and she sells risque pictures of herself. Now, here's the thing. Is that servicing men? Is she pretending to do that for her? No, she's doing that for money. It says Roma Army, Chloe Roma is going live. It's funny how things work out that way. When it comes to Chloe Roma, she knows that those simps will pay that money, and she does use that to keep herself housed and help take care of her kid. Sure, she's selling risque pictures of herself. She's also talking shit about other people who do that. Like those girls in the gym who wear those risque outfits on their OnlyFans thing and then go to the gym and try to cop a squat and get a guy who accidentally glanced in her general direction for half a second. Feral, 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 feral. Oh my God. Now we got this guy in Florida who went to the gym at his apartment, right? And there's this lady who was in there. She knew who he was. She let him in. Now, of course, he asked her a question. He was far enough away that he should have been allowed to ask that question. What did she do? She stepped in and started pushing and hitting him. Now, through the entire situation, he didn't hit her once. He didn't swing at her even once. The only time he ever stepped in on her was when she went over to reach for a fucking weapon. And then people are like, yeah, she beat this guy up. Yeah, that's what you do to fucking creeps. Like, holy shit. When he was talking to her, he had his hands in a submissive position. He knew to be fucking paranoid of women. We all do. And the less attractive we are, the more paranoid we have to be that you're going to treat us like a rapist because we look your general direction. Meanwhile, you blame everything on men. You're a pick-me girl dressing like a $2 hooker or an underage hooker, trying to troll for attention. That is what you're trolling for, is men's attention. You don't do that for you. You do that to get gawked at and stared at and looked at because it makes you feel better to get that attention. It's called male validation. You don't do that for you. You do that for attention. You do that because it is just as much a competition for you women as it is for us men. I dipped out of the fucking competition. I'm not trying to win victory over any of these fucking chads. I already know that between me and some fucking muscle-bound asshole, you're going to pick the muscle-bound asshole, especially if he's got a house. That's a ready-made life you can walk into with no work. Then there's a lot of women that I know who have been prostitutes. There's also a lot of them who dated guys or had sex with guys and led these guys on because they wanted a roof over their head and some food in their belly. Then they found somebody who was better looking or had more money. I'm not the guy with money. I'm not the guy with looks. I'm not the guy with a huge dick. These are the three things that I hear women that I know complaining about the most. Their husband's dick isn't big enough. Their boyfriend's dick isn't big enough. What is it with all these guys with little dicks that ask her out on dates? Why the hell does this broke motherfucker think that he stands a chance with me? Well, you're broke too, lady. If you ain't gonna work for it with him, you don't deserve him. Straight up. A lot of women I know who will only date chads want to talk nicely to me and tell me how to get chicks. Who the fuck says it's about getting chicks? That's like these men's rights sites now that they're catering to chads. No, they're not catering to chads. They're trying to tell every simp out there how to be a chad. They want to tell that 330-pound man who is eating his sorrows the same way that a woman can. They want to tell him, hey, you know, you can get these #1 chicks too. And there's advertisement after advertisement on these things as well. You know, here's the Power Pro blah, 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 to get this chick and to get that chick. How do you get any woman to be interested in you instantly? That's not difficult. I have made the mistake of telling women that I'm not interested, only for them to pursue me in a fucking very unnerving fashion. And let's take a look at my first real stalker, Kristen Kepler. She was talking about shooting other girls for talking to me. That was the day I was going to ask her out because she was really nice to me. Now, she wasn't my only stalker. I also had Brianna Hernandez Cordona, who wouldn't go away. Thought she was in love with me for years. Just couldn't get her to leave. You know, when she first started coming around and telling me she was in love with me and what a virgin she was, all this, like, I don't care if you're a virgin, we're not having sex. That's pretty simple. You're underage and you need to go away. The day that Mobley headbutted her, she was 17 at that point. She'd already been creeping on me for a couple of years. Mobley headbutted her because she wouldn't leave me alone. He's like, hey, you know what? Here's the thing. You're trying to hem up my friend here. He's already told you at least 100 times easily that he's not interested. You're a little kid. He's not going to fuck you. You're a little kid. But he fucking headbutted her. That's the issue that I had. Like, hey, thank you for sticking up for me, but don't be headbutting little girls. And yes, he had every right to be that pissed off. She'd been informed by Christine Bouhit to leave me alone. She'd been informed by Janine Barrett to leave me alone. She'd been told by a lot of people to leave me the fuck alone, myself included. And she wasn't fucking getting it. Why is that? Because I told her no and it was a challenge. It hurt her because this is what she wanted. And she didn't get what she wanted. And she is very pretty. A lot of women who are pretty, they're expecting to get what they want just because they're pretty. And many rights advocacy places, they do touch on that, but not near enough. For a lot of us guys, we're just trying to get through life without being victimized again because we're not attractive. But that's not all men. There are some men who are out there to date you. They want to give you a chance like that. They want to have sex with you. Those men go to the bar. If you're picking men up at the bar, that's the kind of man you're going to get. I know a lot of y'all women don't want to date a church man because a lot of those church guys have some funny ideas. I can understand that. A lot of church people creep me the fuck out. Like, sure, they'll call the cops over some fucking Karen bullshit. But what do you expect out of the Christian community? We've been listening to these people talk about how they're being persecuted for my entire life. Well, my entire life, I get to see examples in my life of people I know persecuting everyone else, claiming to be Christian, saying, you can't judge me, only God can judge me. So you change the rules. You're going to be a Karen about every little goddamn thing that's not perfect in your fucking life. About how it's everyone else's fault. It's the Muslim fault. It's the Jews' fault. It's the atheist's fault. And so on and so on and so on. And when somebody treats you the way you treat them, you fucking flip your goddamn wig, don't you? Oh my God, how dare you? You're satanic. No, you're satanic. There aren't very many Christians that I wouldn't consider satanic, especially given the definition of satanic. By the way, do you know what Satan means? It means accuser. Accuser. That's right. Satan Satan's name wasn't used in the Bible to describe an actual creature until the New Testament. Before that, and this is something that a lot of Christians don't pay any attention to. Before that, Satan meant accuser. And you know, Jesus changing the definition doesn't change the fact that that's what the word meant. If you change the word fire so that it means cool, it still means fire. And for thousands of years, when people wrote about fire and talked about fire, they weren't talking about cool, they were talking about literal fire. So when we say that a village was burned to the ground, it was lit on fire. Lit, that's another one of them words. Lit means it's hopping. But what does lit mean? In the sense of fire, it means to create a spark until it fucking burns. Changing a word's definition for you does not change its meaning. It only changes its meaning for you. It doesn't change its meaning through history. When we talk about the burning of Sodom and Gomorrah, how they were lit on fire. Fire and brimstone. That's not cool and brimstone. And of course, we've got these good-looking guys on these men's advocacy channels, right? Like that guy from TAW, yeah, he's pretty attractive. A lot of people type on there that he's good-looking. He's also married. He has something that many people with Asperger's don't have. It's called support. Family support. And he's got immediate family. I don't have any immediate family. I live in my fucking car. It's just me all day long. Having to conserve my resources and try to do nothing. Some of those resources include my body, and it's falling apart. A lot of years out on the streets. For me, a dating relationship is beyond my understanding and beyond my interest. My wants are pretty fucking simple. They've always been simple. But I'm on a constant fucking runaround for food, water, and shelter. Meanwhile, I'm expected to do things to defend myself against these predators that requires a lot of fucking resources. And when you're called mentally ill, it requires a friend or family member who actually cares. How many of my friends or family members bothered to ask what was going on and actually find out? None of them, not a single one. Some of them asked what was going on and then talked over me. And those of you idiots who think that that's help, well, shit. That's completely fucked. Let me show you what I made yesterday. And I took it out and tried it too, by the way. I made a boat. All these men's rights advocacy places are wanting to focus on getting their subscriptions up, getting more money for more views, and selling more merch. That's not just the guy from TAW who stabbed us people with autism in the back. That's also Chloe Roma, who's not so much about men's rights as she is about bitching about women, the way that a lot of simpish men do. And, of course, trying to sell images of her body to make money. and of course, selling merchandise. While she complains about these women who go to the gym and try to troll men after making an OnlyFans account. At least when you have an OnlyFans account, you know those dudes are jerking off to you. You have no illusions about it. Chloe Roman knows that a lot of the guys who order her site are jacking off to her. She's aware of that. There's a lot of women that I know who have talked to me openly and freely about masturbation and how they masturbate. Kind of strange having friends like that, isn't it? Jamie Curtis told me she'd had a crush on me since she was 9 years old. She told me that when I was 29 and she was 23, I think. She's 6 years younger than me. So that would have been a lot of years after I met her. I'd known her for over a decade by the time she told me that. Amanda DeMette, I found out I was her biggest crush in high school in 2017, I think, 2016, somewhere in there. There's a lot of women that were attracted to me that just never told me. Or they told me afterwards to try to manipulate me. Either way. But the thing is, I'm not interested in dating. That is beyond my abilities right now. That's beyond my abilities and my capabilities. A lot of people have these ideas. Well, why don't you just get a dog? Do you stop to understand what a burden it is for not just the human being, but also for the dog to be homeless? Do you know the chances of one of our dogs being put down when we're falsely arrested on some bullshit? No. I have to worry about Americans abusing the mentally ill, i.e. anyone who any American thinks is not normal. They can destroy our lives. Pretend that we're schizophrenic and delusional and it magically all goes away. That's not fucking okay. I don't just advocate for men's rights, I advocate for victims' rights. I also advocate for assisted termination of life. I don't disagree with Natalie Bollinger asking for someone to help her end her life. I don't disagree with that at all. I disagree with the fact that that was the only option that she had. I disagree with the fact that that's the only option I had. Her friends and family made my life hell for over a year before she died, and my friends and family didn't give two shits. But yeah, sure, dating. Let's make it about fucking sex, assholes.